Hi, Clint here, Crimson Landscape here to talk about your outdoor living space. All right, so here's what I came up with. The footprint's the footprint. Basically, followed the same footprint. I went with pavers. Only thing I did was I straightened this line out here and went straight back to the air conditioning slash pool pump area. If we go with the shade structure, as you can see, this space right here is dead space. We can do gravel in this dead space. Along the fence, I did gravel. I brought the pavers in some, so it's not on the property line. This is conceptual, so bear in mind these measurements and locations are not 100% correct. So it could be off a foot or two here and there, but we'll get it right once we come out and do our final measurements. I did go with a concrete paver. I'll send you the links to a couple of our concrete paver manufacturers. Bellegarde is the one we install the most. We can certainly get Keystone, which is another brand here locally we can source as well, but Bellegarde being the most common, most popular. Okay. On the pool model itself, it's just you pick the coping, you pick the tile, and that's it. We install it. We have to clean the pool once it's done. We do pressure test the lines that's required. We do that to make sure there's no leaks in piping before we install the pool deck. We bond the pool. Then, of course, check the skimmer to make sure the skimmer is functional. And that's pretty much it on the pool stuff you're looking at doing. If you want to go with concrete, I'll send you options and images for concrete to look at. But from what you're trying to accomplish, it sounds like the pavers is what you really like. So we'll kind of lean more towards that direction. There is a hidden paver lid we can get as well that you can put over your skimmer so you don't see your skimmer. It looks really nice as an option you can get. I did try the shade structure attached to the back of the house here. Let me kind of move it over to let you see it. I'll leave it there for a second. I thought it looked hideous. The biggest problem with it is it just doesn't do much. It's kind of a big expense when you're really not getting much protection from the sun. You can't add ceiling fans in it. You can't add lights to it. It just didn't make sense. You can't add electrical to it because it's just too close to the water. By code, you have to be 6 feet from the water for any permanent electrical stuff, unless you go low voltage. And low voltage just in this particular application would not work. It's a little far back. Let me pull it forward a little bit. So we can explore this option a bit more. I'm not going to spend much time on it because to me it just didn't make sense. It's not getting you any sun protection. Let me move this out of the way. All right, so really to me, this is the big winner. This is our most popular structure we install, and it actually fit in your application. It's a shed style, meaning that it has a slight pitch to it. This pitch is called the 112 pitch, so water runs off the back. This is waterproof, so obviously it'll keep you dry. It'll give you great protection from the sun. It's all cedar. Then we use cedar on the ceiling. There you go. And I'll show you an example in a second of what that looks like. Then we did the back wall. The back wall is optional. I think the back wall for you is actually kind of important. This is the western sun, so the western sun will actually, it's the most sun in the hottest part of the day, so you can sit under the structure and have protection from the sun. And with this one, you can do lights, ceiling fans. You couldn't do string lights; it'd be too close to the water. You could do of course, power outlets. You can do light switches. We can put back here. We can put probably light switches on this pole right here if you wanted to. We paint on the conduit so it looks nice and pretty. And as you can see, you can put a nice big outdoor living space underneath this. You can do maybe a smaller outdoor living space with a smaller table, like a little breakfast nook, and still get the same protection. And you still have a little bit of space for a sun chair, or maybe a couple chairs over here. But everything else is really just not usable space. It's just walking space. So just think at this layout. From a usable space, you do have a tiny bit of usable space over here, but everywhere else is just walking path. You're paying for a walking path, and how important is that walking path to you? Really, the big usable space for you, where the entertainment space would be this space right here. And of course, this would get rid of your umbrellas. We could do it if you wanted a TV on the back wall. We could do that as well. So this is probably the best option. This is under 200 square feet, so by code in the city of Dallas, under 200 square feet, you don't have to have a permit. Let me pull up an example. It's pretty close to. Everything we do is custom, so you just have to find the right one that's closest to yours. This is a good example right here. This is a really good example right here. So you see the privacy back wall. Nice, pretty structure with the 4 posts. It looks quite nice. and it'll give you the most sun protection. Mine is installed. I have one very similar to this as well. Mine's just a little bit bigger. Oh, you can do speakers back here as well. I won't go into the concrete finishes or the paper finishes today. I just want you to see the conceptual of how this looks to see if you kind of like the direction we're going. The square footage is much more than I thought. I believe I guessed yesterday around 500 square feet. And if this math is right, it's a little over 800 square feet. So about 300 square feet more. I think part of that is I think I'm a little off on my sizing. Because I'm not 100% sure the size of the pool and the location of the pool in your backyard. So I just got to check that. So as we get closer to finalizing the numbers, we'll have to do an on-site measurement to make sure this is it. Okay, let me pause there. Send this over to you and let you look at it and see if this concept is kind of right for the direction you want to go with your property. Any questions, of course, reach out to us. And if you're a first-time guest checking out one of our videos, you can go to our website at crimsonlandscape.com.